Khashoggi's body parts transported in suitcases.
Here's a summary of the article.
The Turkish pro-government newspaper Sabah has reported that journalist Jamal Khashoggi's corpse was dismembered and put into 5 suitcases after he was strangled upon entering Saudi Arabia's consulate in Istanbul. Citing unnamed officials, Sabah reported on Sunday that the suitcases were then taken to the Saudi consul's residence near the consulate the day the writer was killed on October 2. There is a real concern now that the Saudis aren't being open enough with the Turkish investigators. Furthermore, on a political level, there is a big concern that world attention is beginning to wane somewhat on this whole case and whether or not the US is prepared to take firm action against the Saudis that Turkey wants to see. Saudi Arabia initially denied Khashoggi was killed inside its consulate, but, following intense international pressure and after changing their narrative numerous times, the Saudi prosecutor admitted that Khashoggi was killed in a premeditated manner. The Saudi prosecutor flew to Turkey last week and met Istanbul's chief prosecutor, but the investigation has made little progress so far as Saudi Arabia and Turkey remain at loggerheads. Omar Selik told reporters in Ankara that Turkey would not let anyone cover up Khashoggi's killing, adding that it was not possible for Saudi officials to still not know the body's whereabouts. "We are shocked and saddened by the efforts of certain Saudi officials to cover up Khashoggi's premeditated murder, rather than serve the cause of justice, as our friendship would require," Erdogan said.
This post received a score of 50,327, with an upvote ratio of 88%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
At this point it's like, what didn't they do to Khashoggi's body parts?
If the government of SA can carry out such brutality in another country, can you imagine what they do to the people they kidnap in their own country?
Probably about the same, just more often. Seems like they have a system.
Hey Mohammed, I forgot. What's the next step after cutting the pinky finger off? Let me check. I think it's in chapter 3.
When's Mr. Bonesaw arriving again?
Hey, did you update the murder playlist?
Do you like Huey Lewis and the News?
Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste.
Alexa, order another set of suitcases please.
This is the best TLDR I could make, original, greater than citing unnamed officials. Sabah reported on Sunday that the suitcases were then taken to the Saudi consul's residence near the consulate the day the writer was killed on October 2. Greater than Saudi Arabia initially denied Khashoggi was killed inside its consulate, but, following intense international pressure and after changing their narrative numerous times, the Saudi prosecutor admitted that Khashoggi was killed in a premeditated manner.
Was he cut up or put in acid? Getting like 3 different ways they got rid of the body. Edit, so they cut up the body then put it in acid and now carrying his remains in suitcases? Wouldn't that be more messy than cutting his body and carrying out?
There was no evidence that he was put in acid, a fake that was all speculative.
I think we can rule out his corpse being fed to pigs.
Yeah, I don't think pig farms are particularly common in Turkey or Saudi Arabia.
Holy shit, he was tortured first, then his body was dismembered, then parts were carried in suitcase, were immersed in acid later, then thrown in water well.
Russia makes sure they are dead by killing them twice. Saudi Arabia makes sure they can't have an afterlife.
How else would you transfer a body out of an embassy in a foreign country? As horrific as it is, if their plan had gone the right way, there would hardly be any evidence against the Saudis in this case.
Aside from the fact that an outspoken critic of Saudi Arabia disappeared after stepping foot in their embassy? I mean, that's exactly why the plan didn't go the right way, so I don't see how it could have ended well for the Saudis.
They had someone dress up and pretend to be him. If that had gone well, people would have thought he went missing after leaving the embassy, which would have muddied the waters.
Except his fiancée was waiting right outside. Even if it shows him leaving by the back exit, he would have gone back around, so the footage of him entering the cab would have eventually been scrutinized, and the inconsistency of his shoes would have picked up on pretty quickly. Her waiting outside also suggests he had safety concerns regarding the consulate's sad face.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.